So guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we actually have the Monster DNA Go. Now these headphones are actually a couple years old, 3 years old to be exact, but I happened to find them at Burlington Coat Factory. The person didn't know what they cost, so I think I paid like $20 for them, so I lucked up there. But anyway, let's talk a little specs before we get into this review. So they do have wireless charging. They come with a 4-foot nylon charging cable, so that's a good thing. Obviously, they're Bluetooth. All you got to do is take them out of the case, I believe, in order to sync them left and right, where we're going to do that in real time. You get 28 hours of battery life total, with one charge being 7.5 hours with the buds themselves. That's with the playtime. Talk time will be a tad bit less. It says it has clear voice capture, which we're going to test it out in a different section to make sure that the microphones are really good. 15 minutes wireless charging. 15-minute rapid charging gives you 2 hours of playback in 15. IPX5, so if you're in a gym, if you're outside in the rain, if you're running, if you're jogging in inclement weather, it should work pretty good. And lastly, it has the aptX or aptX lossless audio. So it's supposed to do really good with like mids and highs and things like that to make the music a lot more crisp and easier to listen to and just have a better listening experience. So with that being said, this is an older headset. What I find interesting is that, you can find some really good gyms in a lot of stores if you decide to just kind of shop around like I do, and I like doing that. So I haven't used them that long, but let's see how good they are overall, and I'm going to let you know how this journey goes. So let's get right into this review and not waste any time. So this is everything right here that comes inside of the box. I already took the liberty of unboxing this stuff for you. So you have 2 sets of rubber tips right here, which is super useful. I don't know why you have 2 sets though, but I'm not mad about that. I mean, these are technically pretty expensive, the original price for these buds, even though I paid only 20 bucks at a Burlington Coat Factory. But yeah, you get 2 sets of rubber tips, and make sure you hold on to these. You have your USB-C cable right here, which I like this cable, and here's the reason why. Remember, this came out in 2022, even though I'm reviewing it in 2025. I had them since 2024, but I haven't really used them like that until recently. So anyway, this is USB-A. If you take this off, you have USB-C to USB-C right here. I do like the thick braided wire right here, and this is a good thing. You don't have to use this piece, so if you decide to, unfortunately, you can't take it off unless you actually physically cut this off. So my suggestion is just to let it hang right here from the cable itself. Though I do like the cable. I actually have multiple Monster cables that I use for USBs for my PC when I plug up a controller. But of course, this comes with the actual headset, and it's 4 feet, so keep that in mind. You have the buds themselves. We'll get to that in a moment. You have your troll stickers right here, or just the Monster stickers. I know they're called troll stickers a lot of times. And then we have the instructions right here, which I'm going to show you in a dedicated section after this. And right here, you can actually scan this to find the Monster application. So could you go to the app and find it? Absolutely, in the App Store. But you can always scan this, and then you're good to go from there too. So keep that in mind. Now, the most important thing is, remember, this has wireless charging on the bottom. I love the way this case looks. You have the USB-C on the back, looks pretty cool. As soon as you pop them open, here are the buds right here. Now I'm going to show you guys something. If you put them inside the case, you have your charger light battery right here to let you know how charged the case is. And then this little symbol will actually let you know if the buds themselves are charging. And you'll see one on the left-hand side too if you take them and put them back inside the case. And of course, if you hold this button right here, this will reset the buds while they're inside, or put them in pairing mode just in case they don't pair, and initially when you use them, because nothing is perfect, but they do have precautions for that. Now, here's the issue that I have. Even though I like the way these buds look how chunky this piece is. I don't know what human they thought this was going to go into, but this is really thick. This is a chunky bud. Again, I appreciate the design itself. You do have a physical button right here. The Monster button is physical, so it's easier for you to answer phone calls. A lot of times when you touch buttons, they're not nearly as responsive as physical buttons, so I do appreciate that. So if you place these inside your ear and you press this button, you might feel a little bit pressure because you're pushing deeper into your ear canal, so kind of keep that in mind. But I mean, these aren't bad looking buds in my opinion. I just knew that when I initially unboxed these, that this part right here was going to be a problem initially, which we're going to talk about the fit and feel in a little bit, but I just wanted to show you how the bud itself actually looks and what it comes with. So it's not bad so far. These look nice, and looks do matter. As long as you find it looks to be appealing, then it's a higher probability that the person that purchases the product is going to be happier about their purchase, especially depending on how much it costs. But again, I've heard of Monster. I didn't know much about the company. I still honestly don't know much about the company, but I see a lot of their buds online being sold for a reduced price on Amazon. So I figured, you know what, let me try to put some in the cart and see if I can get a couple more, which I do have some more reviews coming with this particular brand. But with that being said, I am ranting. Let's go on to the next section. So here, wrong paper. Here's the instructions right here. Let me put this stuff away. It'll show you how to actually use the buds themselves. So you have the charging case over here. Let me see if I can get that glare out of here real fast. There we go. The glare is gone. So starting from the left-hand side, it shows you the pause and play, volume up and down, previous track, next track, how to answer calls, reject calls, end calls, activate phone assistance, interesting, and then how to actually pair them. The second page right here shows you exactly the ports. We talked about that a little bit earlier, about the multi-function button right there. It shows you how to actually pair your buds by opening up and taking the buds out of the case, and I'll show you that in a different section. And that's pretty much it. And then like troubleshooting and how to factory restore. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to leave this page up for anyone, pause the video, screenshot the video, pause it, use another camera if you're on a PC or something, however you do things, and just go ahead and take a picture of this, because these are going to be the instructions right here. And of course, it shows you the charging case and the battery life that we talked about a little bit earlier. So with that being said, that's pretty much everything right here. I think it does have some specifications on the other side. Let me flip it over and show you real fast the other side. Yeah, there you go. Shows you the specifications. We get the glare out of there again. There we go. So it shows you the specs right here. Shows you the Monster Sound app. You can go ahead and scan that with this right here. 7 to 8 hours of playtime, but more so 7.5 hours. How long it takes to charge the buds and all the other stuff that we talked about. Oh, and apparently they're 12mm drivers, which should technically give you a better quality of bass, but it all depends on the quality of just the microphones and things like that they use. Each brand uses different products, so that's why everything has different sound profiles. Anywho, with that being said, that is the instructions. Let's move on to how to actually sync these buds. So the sync process is going to be very simple. We already talked about it earlier in this video, but I'll just kind of remind anyone that may have skipped parts of this video to the part they want to see. You open up the case, take the right bud and the left bud out, and we're just going to let these two communicate with each other for a moment. We don't need to keep the case open. While it's doing so, we can go to the settings of whatever Bluetooth device that you're using. So if you're using a PC, an iPhone, an iMac, Android device, Nintendo Switch, Steam Deck, doesn't really matter. You're going to go to the Bluetooth settings, and we're going to go ahead and search. So pair new device. There we go. Monster DNA Go. They pop right up. So remember, they have to come out of the case in order to actually sync them. Keep that in mind. Go ahead and press pair. Now, in case anyone is wondering, these don't have multi-point from my understanding. I read up on them. They don't seem to have it. Now, once you sync them, you're good to go. Some people may want to know how to unsync them to give them to somebody else. So there's two ways to do this. If you walk away, like say you give somebody something and you leave the house, if you're not in that Bluetooth connecting range, the earbuds, then next time you take them out of the case, are more likely going to put themselves back in pairing mode. Just in case if they don't, you open up the case right here and you hold this button while the buds are inside of it, and it'll factory reset the buds so you can resync them. But if you happen to be in the vicinity, all you got to do is go to your Bluetooth settings like we're in right now, hit this little cog wheel, and you're going to put forget. You can do that with PCs and everything else, and then it'll automatically disconnect the earbuds, and then you can just place them back inside of the case right here. And then by the time you open them back up and take them back out, you can resync them again. So just keep that in mind. And worst case scenario, come back to this video for a reference if you forget. So here are the earbuds. This is technically this is my left side, but the camera shows it flipped around. And this is the opposite side. Now, in order to place them inside of the ear, remember this part is pretty chunky right here. My initial thoughts was that this was going to be a problem over time. And for my particular ears, they fit just fine. So this headset is better for people that have medium to larger size earlobes. Smaller earlobes, I'm not going to say that it's not going to fit you, but you guys might have a problem with it kind of slipping out over time or just falling out from sweat or from exercise and things like that. Now, I did jog in these, had no problems. I use my scooter on a regular basis with these, had no problem. When I'm at home walking around, or even if I go to the gym, to the YMCA with my wife, when I use the machines, these don't really slip out of your ear, and my ears in particular. So, I mean, occasionally when they get wet and sweat drips down, I did have to kind of like readjust them and just push them back in place like most earbuds. But outside of that, they actually are very, very secure. But again, my wife has much smaller earlobes. She said that she didn't find them very comfortable for smaller earlobe people. And she said that they made the rim right here of her ear, because it pushes on this little lobe right here. I'm not sure the technical terms, but it pushes on this outward. And that could be sore for people that have smaller earlobes. Now, obviously, if I don't have cauliflower ear or anything like that, so I'm not too sure about you guys, I do apologize. But for someone that has like cauliflower ear or something like that, or some type of cosmetic damage done to their ears, ear hooks 9 times out of 10 are probably going to be better for you. But again, if you can find these for $20 at the local Ross or something like I did, that wasn't Ross, Burlington Coat Factory, then it's definitely worth the asking price, because even if they don't work well for you, you can gift them to somebody else. And if you never heard of the Monster brand, that's okay, because again, they still sound very, very good. And we're going to talk about that in another section. I am jumping the gun. But yes, fit and feel, they're not bad at all. So let's talk about the quality of the music. And let me just say right now, I have a Samsung S24 FE, turned off all the features. So anything Dolby Atmos and all those other features were obviously turned off. And the sound sample that I'm going to tell you about is me strictly using the buds as is, without me tuning them in any way, shape, or form. And they sound really, really good in that regard. And these headphones are years old. That's why I say with something that's older, it doesn't really matter as long as it works. As long as Bluetooth connectivity, which I didn't have an issue with or anything like that, works well in the buds, that's all you have to worry about. So bass, these are super bass heavy. If you're from the older generation and you love how the beats used to sound where it had extremely heavy bass, this has that heavy bass, but it's more pronounced, meaning it doesn't actually affect the song in a negative way. The quality is there. I listen to a bunch of pop songs, techno, Euro beats, rap, whatever you name it, not everything, but R&B, I even switched over there, and it just did a very good job with the quality of bass, enhancing the song and making me bop my head, because if you can bop your head to a headset and you can feel the music, that means you got a pretty high quality headset alone when it comes to bass. The voices didn't feel like they were overpowered. Granted, the bass does overpower everything in the song. You can still hear the highs and the mids just fine. Everything meshes just fine. Now, the only negative aspect that I can say about this is that it did feel a tad bit grainy, but you can actually change that feature. Like when I put it on Dolby Atmos, that pretty much made that grainy feature go away, because phones allow each individual phone, whether you're using OnePlus, Apple, whatever it is, a lot of these phones have extra features that enhance your headset, and it did a really good job of doing that when I decided to tweak it a little bit. But outside of the box, I don't think anyone's going to have an issue with the quality of music. The fit and feel, though, what I'm going to go ahead and say, because I did a separate section for that, but I do want to come back to that. Because these are very chunky buds, I did feel like the positioning of the buds inside of my ear, they were comfortable enough, but you could definitely tell that the rubber tip can go deeper into the ear, and it would seal a lot more of that music in, and you'll get a lot better quality. Now, does that affect the maximum volume? No, it doesn't. These buds are super, super loud, which is a good thing. I use them on a scooter, talk to my wife going to work on them, and of course I had to, have a helmet covering the side of my ears, because with all the wind going, it was nothing I could do about that. She couldn't really hear me. But with a proper helmet, she could hear everything that I was saying. I was actually able to drown out a lot of the sound around me. Obviously, you should not be riding a bike or anything, not being able to hear traffic, but just for, a couple blocks, about maybe 5 or 6 blocks or so, I rode my electric scooter, trains, automobiles, everything was going past, and I was actually able to drown out a lot of that noise, probably at least 85 to 90% of that noise as I turned the headphones up. But the maximum volume can hurt your eardrum, so keep that in mind. I don't suggest anyone listening to this at maximum volume if you want to live a productive life being able to listen to people. But yeah, it sounds really good. But again, that fit and feel, because it feels like I had to actually use bigger rubber tips for them to fit inside my ears properly, because of the sheer size of the earbud itself. So that might be a problem for some people. But quality-wise, these are good. These are really, really good. They can actually beat out a lot of headphones in 2025 easily. It's not even a challenge for these to outperform them in terms of quality of sound. But of course, remember, I got them for $20, and online, they're not actually $20. They actually cost substantially more than that. So if I do find a cheaper link, I'm going to let you guys know. But if you don't see a link, it's because, price tag, given the price, they're expensive. But let's move on. So I'm currently indoors in my office. This is going to be a sound sample of the Monster DNA Go. Now, if you're outside, it's going to be a little bit more windy. These don't have any form of wind protection, so it's going to pick up a lot of the background noise. If there are cars, trains, automobiles, and other people having conversations. But if you're like me and you mostly use your headphones in more quiet locations for things like phone calls or just video calls, Discord, or in general, this is the quality that you're going to get. So keep that in mind. So all in all, are these buds worth the asking price? And again, I don't know exactly what the price was when these first launched. When I looked online, some prices say 100 and something. Some prices people were selling them for like $200 online. So I'm not sure the original pricing, but I paid $20 for them at Burlington Coat Factory. If you happen to find them for that price, there aren't many headphones that you're going to find better than these for $20. Now, they do sound Cellcores, the P30Is, the A30Is, and stuff like that. And if you get those, they're equally as good as these, in my opinion. If anything, Soundcore is going to probably give you more features, especially given the fact that they have wind protection where you can go outside. But outside of that, these are very good headphones. Will they fit everyone? Probably not. Smaller load people, I don't really suggest these. If you want to try them out for the cheaper price tag, sure. But there's a high probability that they're not going to fit you that well. For someone that has medium ears, you will probably feel soreness over time when wearing them, especially when playing music louder with the vibrations of the drives and things like that. That could be a reoccurring problem over time. And larger ear people, you're probably going to go through the same thing. But if you're listening to it about 50 to 60 to 70%, you should pretty much be fine. I like them. Good battery life, wireless charging. They have a lot of the features that you need for, I can't say a lower price because, again, I got them for cheaper, but that's not what they originally cost. But I do like these buds if you can find them for cheap. It's a winner. Even in 2025, as I'm reviewing them, and these came out in 2022, I still think that they hold up very well to a lot of other earbuds. And, it's just my personal opinion. Anyway, like and subscribe like always. I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care. Peace.